We are back in Calgary, getting set for the Rangers and the Calgary Flames. As always, closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Check out our Audi goaltending matchup. And the man we talked about right at the top, Henrik Lundqvist. Coach Alain Vigneault said he's playing well. We want to get him some more work, and there he is right back in there in his fourth consecutive start.
Well, they've had a little bit of a funky schedule with lots of days off between games. That doesn't allow goaltenders to really find their rhythm, and they're trying to get that for Lundqvist.
And across the way, making only his second start in the last 6 games, is Kari Ramo from Finland. Originally a draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning, played parts of 3 seasons with them. This is his second season with the Calgary Flames. He was 17-15 and 1 last season. You see 8-4-1 this season. He's lost his last 2 decisions, and we're underway. Rangers open up with JT Miller centering, Rick Nash on the left, Matt Zuccarello on the right, Dan Girardi and Ryan McDonough on defense. Starting lineups coming in at the top of your screen, brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Nash off the leg of Zuccarello in the Calgary zone. The Flames, coming off a 4-game road trip in which they lost all 4 games, have now lost 5 in a row. Alain Vigneault talking with Ulf Samuelsson perhaps about his defensive alignment. And there is Bob Hartley in his 3rd season as head coach of the Calgary Flames. He won a Stanley Cup in Colorado. He coached in Atlanta, and doing a good job with this young team that got off to a great start, Joe.
Well, this is as hard a working team as there is in the National Hockey League, and I'm actually a little surprised that he's on the last year of his contract. He did a wonderful job with this team last year, as you mentioned, Sam, and they're better this year. They're a quicker team. They've got better goaltending.
There's that long outlet pass, and it's played back. Yuri Hudler, Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau wears number 13. Hudler is the elder statesman on this line, a veteran who's played very, very well.
Yeah,
Josh Juras, the other youngster on that
young
line.
Players, they love him. They love Hudler because he's got a great sense of humor. He keeps them loose. He helps them out. And it's been a good line.
Hustling over Dan Boyle. Boyle paired with Mark Stahl, who's played so very well last few weeks. He's had a good season.
And Sam, when you keep hearing opposing coaches talk about Mark Stahl and how good he is defensively and with the stick, gives you an idea of the respect he has around the league.
And Kevin Hayes has made his first appearance on with Lee Stempniak, who played 3 seasons here in Calgary, and Carl Hagelin. Kevin Klein on defense with Matt Hunwick back in the lineup. John Moore, a healthy scratch. Alain Vigneault telling us this morning that Matt Hunwick has played well, and has been patient. He doesn't want to have him sit too long. No complaints about John Moore, but he wanted to get Hunwick in the lineup, get him some playing time. Played ahead by Mason Raymond. It's gloved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. We are 2:12 into the game. There's Alain Vigneault.
And Alain Vigneault continues to talk when asked about the opposition. He continues to say, hey, listen, we're still working on our game as a team. We're focusing more on what we need to do. And again, they were close to getting that team together for a period of time before, of course, Brassard went down with the mumps, and we hope he's feeling better back in New York.
Probably watching tonight. We hope, Derek, that you're doing all right. Quarantine for a few days. Rangers' 4th line is on. Tanner Glass, who has the puck here, Dominic Moore and Jesper Fast. Ramo out to get the puck, fires it around the boards. Fast missed it, and the Flames bring it out. Lance Boma, number 17, sending it deep into the Ranger zone. The Flames overall have lost 5 in a row, and have had trouble scoring. They scored only 8 goals in those 5 games. Prior to that, they've been very good scoring goals.
Yeah, the work ethic is there. They're still continuing to get chances, but as the players have talked about, not quite finishing like they did earlier.
Nice play by Zuccarello, blocking that pass across. Played here by Joe Colborne, number 8, Comes off the boards, drops it back, and that shot was missed by Brody as he wound up shanked it. J.T. Miller lifts it out of the zone.
No surprise that the matchup is Brody and Giordano against Nash, Miller, Zuccarello.
Brody playing it back to Giordano, the captain of the Flames. Now they make a defensive change. Chris Russell swings it around. Brody is still on. He makes the pass out. Back forward is Mark Stahl. On him is Josh Juris, number 86. That's taken away by Hoodler. Now along the boards, Juris cleared out from in front. Long shot stopped by Lundqvist. Up the boards. Russell tried to keep it in. Stick handled and took it out of the zone. St. Louis challenges Chris Russell. They get into a little bit of a tussle here. A Russell tussle.
And Chris Russell's been a good player for this team. He was with Columbus and then with St. Louis. He's not a big player, about 5'10", and certainly Marty St. Louis is not. And Kreider in front. Watch him right there make a real good defensive play in front. We've shown other games where Kreider has left the front of the net, where that would be his responsibility. This time he stays there, he makes a good defensive play, and the Rangers get out of trouble.
Chat with Marty St. Louis over some responsibilities in the defensive zone. Henrik Lundqvist checks in with Cassio Marks, the equipment chief, who tapes up the stick, and we're set to resume play. Kevin Hayes on against Marcus Granlund. Hayes out, Stempniak in. Granlund wins the draw back. And former Ranger Rafi Diaz, who was signed as a free agent early in October, has the puck. And able to move it up. Diaz wearing number 33. This is Granlund cutting in. Nice play by Stempniak.
Granlund, another one of these young players, just 21 years of age, that has surprised Calgary by playing well enough to make this team.
Lundqvist playing it up the boards, was blocked by Paul Byron. Kevin Klein able to move it.
Well, a nice pass by Klein. Little soft backhand pass, and the Rangers easily out of their zone.
And Hunwick lifts it in. Ramo gloves it and drops it off to Diaz. Fired up the boards and tipped into the Rangers zone by Lance Boma. Lundqvist looks around. The feed to McDonough. He's pressured by Boma.
Boy, what a play. McDonough uses his skates to get the puck up to his stick and then makes the pass.
Calgary skating well. Good pressure by Boma. McDonough, the pass missed connection, goes all the way down. Will be an icing on the Rangers. That was forced by the forecheck pressure by Lance Boma.
Yeah, McDonough had his skates up against the boards, and Lundqvist, they're having a conversation right now about where the pass was. Watch where Lundqvist puts it. On his skates, kicks it up, now makes a move. Boy, you see him start doing things like that, you know that he is very close to being back at the top of his game. And maybe he's there now, Sam. You know, he just might be there now.
He's pretty close. Yeah,
sure
you're right,
is.
Joe.
He's played well.
Move down the boards. Girardi is there to McDonough. Rangers with 3 wins in a row, 5-2 in their last 7, 7-3 in the last 10. And in those 7 wins, they've given up only 6 goals and had 4 shutouts. So the Rangers are getting close to where they want to be. They started play tonight in the final wild card position in the Eastern Conference, thanks to the 3-game win streak. Zuccarello in deep. Giordano picks him up. Zuccarello stays with it. Try to play it in front of his block. And out of the zone it goes. J.T. Miller is there. You get J.T. Miller and T.J. Brody. Get the initials right. Out of the zone. Dave Jones, the right wing for Calgary. Man in the middle is Sean Monahan. A couple of seasons back, he was the 6th overall pick in the draft, number 23. Another fine youngster that Joe was talking about.
Good in face-off, or on face-offs, I should say. Leads this team in shots on goal.
That pass, a giveaway. St. Louis brings it in. And he's stopped there by Giordano. Talk about their outstanding offensive play, but that pair of Giordano and Brody do a good job in their own zone as well.
Excellent. And they get big ice time.
Nice lead pass for Kreider. Try to play it across to St. Louis. Around the Kreider behind the net. Stepan is at the side of the crease. Up to Kevin Klein. Around to St. Louis. Now Stepan. To St. Louis. Tried to get it to Kreider, who was blocked. Klein was in deep. Flames take it away and come out with it. This is Josh Juris. His pass was tipped, and Gaudreau tried to play it in front. Johnny Gaudreau with 17 assists, tied for the most assists by a rookie in the NHL.
Boy, is he a good young player. Talking to him yesterday at practice, Sam, and he's an impressive young kid. He said the biggest adjustment when I asked him about playing at this level, which surprised me, he said it's the defense pinching in on him on the board. Didn't say the speed, didn't say the, all the big players.
There was a good setup, but shot wide by Granlund.
He said that never happened to him in college because they were afraid to give up an odd man rush, so they never pinched in against him.
That's chipped out of the zone. Kevin Hayes is on. I think briefly Hayes and Gaudreau were on at the same time. Then Gaudreau went off. Lee to Stempniak. Comes in and shoots. Save. Oh, good shot by Lee Stempniak. He used the defenseman Rafael Diaz. Rafi Diaz as a screen. Hayes behind the net. Controlling play. Deflected into the corner. Chased down by Tanner Glass, who's just off the bench. Intercepted. That shot went wide by Dan Boyle.
That saved by Ramo, his first of the game on Stempniak.
Rangers with a couple of good chances. There's pressure by Boma again, that time on Dan Boyle. Brought a turnover. Boyle intercepts. Rangers have it back. Nearly 9 minutes gone by. First period, no score in the game. Boyle for Fost. Lifts it across. And Dominic Moore bats it into the Flame zone. Chris Russell is there. Taken away by Zuccarello. Brings it right back in. Surrounded. Colburn is all over him, number 8. Zuccarello stayed with it, but then gave it away to David Jones. Jones moves in. Here's Colburn. Hit the pass broken up by Miller coming back. Pass intended for Monahan. Good job by J.T. Miller. And a whistle and a hand pass is whistled against Calgary. Play stops. 10:28 to go in the first period. Rangers and Flames, no score. No's got a good look at Alain Vigneault. John Giannone right alongside the Rangers bench. Let's join John right now.
Yeah, Sammy, thanks. This is very intimate down here. No boards here, so I can pretty much hear everything. Alain Vigneault has very much been stressing to his team the speed, the pace of this game. He wants line changes more quickly. He wants his team to get off the ice for those line changes more quickly. And he keeps talking about hold the puck, keep the puck. He wants to keep it away from them. He also yelled to the referee at the end of that commercial break, why wasn't there a penalty? And the referee said, because I didn't put my arm up. He laughed. A couple of the other players laughed. A couple of the other players said, nice answer, guys. So that's some of the insights down here. Ron Duguay has some insights. So does Brian Leach. They're back in New York. You can communicate with them on Twitter. Use the hashtag NYR. Send your questions for Chris Kreider. He'll join us between periods.
I look forward to that. Thanks, John. We'll be joining John throughout the evening. Calgary turns it. Comes in 4-on-2. Shot blocked by Kreider and covered by Lundqvist. Side of the net.
I'll tell you what, Kreider turned the puck over. John was just talking about Alain Vigneault telling his players to move the puck, get it in deep. They stressed that prior to the game. And Kreider gives it up at the blue line. You'll see him come up right there. Here. There's the turnover. Mark Stahl was going to the net. Now it's a 3-on-2. Kreider's got to play defense. And look at the defensive play he makes. What a block. Beautiful play, and then uses his hand to push the puck to Lundqvist for the whistle.
Good recovery. Diaz pass tipped, taken away by Hagelin. Hagelin's pass gets knocked down into the Ranger zone. Play back from Boyle to Granlund. Granlund checked by Hagelin. Good play there. Girardi off the boards. Chases it down, gets it out of the zone. Taken back by Glencross. Curtis Glencross, number 20, along the boards with Paul Byron and Marcus Granlund. Girardi and McDonough control. Lead for Kevin Hayes. Hayes slowed down by Diaz. That's put out in front. Stempniak. Stempniak checked there by his good friend Matt Stajan. They are the closest of friends. Had dinner together last night. Stajan did a good job on Stempniak. Zuccarello back for it. Now Mark Stahl. 9 minutes to go in this first period. Nash deep with the puck, leaves it for Miller. Miller comes around the net, centers, and that was knocked away from Zuccarello. His pass off the skate, and the Flames take over. TJ Brodie fires in, hard around the boards. Klein is there, goes by him out of the zone. Here goes Nash. Nash breaks to the net. He fakes. He scores! Rick Nash with another beauty. His 19th of the season. Rangers lead 1-0.
And he was on the side with Giordano, their top defenseman. And did he ever turn on the speed? The Rangers do a good job getting it out of their zone. Here he comes. The move, the strength, the patience. And he just slides it in the far side to give the Rangers the lead. That little delay move, and then he used his body to protect the puck to bring it across the other way. And his hands were so fast that Ramo couldn't get the stick there to try and poke the puck.
Wow.
What a goal.
Rick Nash, second in the league with 19 goals. And that is a career-high 11-game point scoring streak for Rick Nash. It ties Evgeny Malkin for the longest point scoring streak in the league this season. And he continues his brilliant play. Rick Nash has gone only 5 games this season without a point. McDonough with the intercept, so the Rangers score first. And a penalty upcoming, a slashing call on the Calgary Flames. Rangers, who've had only 1 power play chance in the previous 2 games, get one here in the first period with 8:04 to go.
Rick Nash with the only goal thus far in the first period. Here's how it starts. Here's Brodie. He's just going to come down and shoot it in. That's how the play starts. Nash is actually behind him, and watch what happens when Brodie shoots it in. If we stop it here, you've got Nash that reads it. He's going to come this way. Giordano, the defenseman, is over on the other side. Gets past him, gets past everyone. Unassisted goal by Nash.
Rangers on a power play here. On the slashing call to David Jones. This Rangers power play presented by Volkswagen. Rangers have not scored a power play goal in their last 4 games. 0 for 12 over that span, but have had only 1 chance in the previous 2 games on the power play. That was in Edmonton. There's Dan Boyle carrying. Boyle, Stepan, St. Louis, Stempniak, and Nash. Ramo missed it, but gets help, and the puck fired all the way down. Calgary started the season not that well, penalty killing wise, but over the last 10 games, 17 for 19. And they've only given up the 2 power play goals over the last 10 games. Zuccarello to JT Miller. Miller going deep. Puck taken away, but given away to Kreider. Hard pass for Zuccarello. Ramo trying to stop play, does. Zuccarello still digging, and we get a little wrestling match in front.
Now Zuccarello saw the loose puck. Ramo was trying to get control of the puck. And you see Zuccarello right there saying something to the referee that the puck was loose, so he just kept on going. Rangers finally make a good pass, so they're able to carry the puck in the zone. And then here's the setup. Off the skate, bouncing puck, rolling puck. You see Ramo trying to find it. Zuccarello stayed with it. And eventually the whistle as Ramo's able to control it.
Rangers only 2 shots on goal. here in the first period. Calgary only 3. That puck fired around the boards, deflected out of play. So the face-off, let's see, was it tipped by a Ranger? Apparently was, because it comes out of the zone. Rangers have JT Miller with Zuccarello, Kreider, Stempniak, and Girardi. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Girardi leads Zuccarello. On to Kreider. Kreider checked by Giordano. Miller out to Girardi. Stempniak. Off the stick of Zuccarello. Clearing attempt by Giordano was stopped by Stempniak. He's hit, got knocked down. The puck cleared out. And just 10 seconds remaining in the Rangers power play. JT Miller carries deep. Pass back to Jesper Fast, who shoots. Saved by Ramo. Nice play by JT Miller, setting up Jesper Fast. Power play is over. Rangers with 1 shot on goal. Lead it 1-0 with 5:50 to go in the first period. Hagelin tied up along the boards. Hudler's pass in front goes off the post. Lundqvist got a piece of it on the Colborn redirection, and then it went off the post and stayed out. Hagelin carries end to end. Hagelin around the net. That's blocked by Chris Russell, the defenseman. Good rush up the ice by Carl Hagelin. Hagelin with the intercept. Girardi to Kevin Hayes. Hayes checked by Russell. In deep, St. Louis. Marty St. Louis, who started his NHL career in Calgary, playing 2 years here. That's taken away by Gaudreau. Gaudreau with a back pass to Giordano for a shot that was blocked in front. Stepan picks it up and skates it clear. Derek Stepan moves in. Fires across to St. Louis. He's checked there by Yuri Hudler. St. Louis down, Hudler on top of him. And the puck lifted out, knocked down by Dan Boyle. Good play.
Gaudreau stole it from Marty St. Louis, his dinner companion from last night.
Not only companion, but Marty bought dinner.
Yeah. He told Kevin Hayes, he said, I want to go out to dinner with you guys. So he took the 2 kids out for dinner, and I said, what did Gaudreau ask? He said, he didn't ask me much. He said, he listened a lot.
Nash with a shot that's blocked. Marty St. Louis called them the twins. Schwarzenegger and DeVito.
One's 220, the other one's 158 pounds. Gaudreau has put on 10 pounds from last year, puts him up to 158.
Oh man, is he heavy. Breaking the scale. Tipped into the Calgary zone. Under 4 minutes to go in the first. Rangers a 1-0 lead. Dennis Wideman, watch out for him. He's got 10 goals on the season. Top goal-scoring defenseman in the league. Kevin Klein, good pass out to Tanner Glass. In deep, Dominic Moore. Checked by Rafi Diaz. Jesper Fast with a takeaway from David Jones. Moore to Klein, the shot blocked. And cleared out by Lance Boma. Klein has it back. Rangers have played a sharp game thus far. Calgary has skated well. Rangers have limited the Flames to 4 shots on goal.
Rangers are not allowing Calgary's defense to get involved in the play.
Rangers gave up a season-low 16 shots to Edmonton. And now, starting this game, giving up only 4 shots on goal. That last shot gloved wide of the net by Lundqvist. 3:01 to go in the first. Rangers leading 1-0.
Rangers leading 1-0. Henrik Lundqvist makes his best save of the game. Steal of the puck, and this is Monahan, the second-year center iceman, that sets up Joe Colborn. Colborn gets a shot, Lundqvist gets a piece, and then gets a little help. First from the post, and then Kevin Klein comes in to help out as well. That close was Calgary to tying it.
Nice job by Kevin Klein. Shot it right through the legs of Henrik Lundqvist to clear it out of there. Flames control. Chris Russell a drive. Glove save by Lundqvist, and he holds it. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first period.
Calgary's been the much better team on face-offs in this first period. That's for Calgary. That was their 9th win, and the Rangers have won 3. So that's decisive, and that's an area where the Rangers have struggled.
Derek Brassard, where are you? Oh, he's back in New York with the mumps. Hope you get better soon. Sean Monahan and Derek Stepan for the face-off. The Rick Nash goal, by the way, was unassisted at 11:22. McDonough and Girardi. Pressure from Colborne. Colborne took down Girardi. Puck taken away, and the pass for Monahan was missed.
Well, Girardi was hurt. Colborne took his feet out from under it.
Ramo drops it off to Chris Russell. Reverses to Dennis Wideman. Long pass ahead. Jones for Colborne. Stepan got hurt as he dove to try and break up the play. That pass goes through. Chris Russell has it. Stepan stays on. And the Rangers break it up. Good play by Mark Stahl. Wideman and Russell. That's deflected in the Rangers zone. Zuccarello tried to play it. Missed by Glenn Frost. Byron lost it to JT Miller. Here's Zuccarello. Off the end boards. Brody up the boards. Granlund fires into the middle. Giordano moves it quickly to Glenn Cross. Curtis Glenn Cross backhander stopped by Lundqvist, who dives on top and stops play with 1:45 to go.
Now Girardi seems to be okay. He's on the Ranger bench now, coming back on the ice is Girardi, but he went down awkwardly. As he has the puck, Colborne comes in here and watch the skates.
Oh.
Down he goes. He kind of twisted around. He was slow to get up. And then Derek Stepan coming back the other way. It looked like his skates got caught in a rut. He fell forward. It looks like his head made contact with an elbow.
But Colborne stuck out that right leg and took down Girardi with the right leg. Brody taken away by Fost. Save by Ramo. Great play by Jesper Fost. Here's Tanner Glass. Up the boards for Kevin Klein. Given away to Giordano. And now Marcus Granlund sends it in.
Fost has had 2 excellent chances in this first period.
Van Hunwick. And Kevin Klein. Long pass off the boards to Lee Stempniak. Checked there by Wideman. Drops it back for Hunwick. He missed it. There's a penalty upcoming on the Flames. Rangers get another power play on a hooking call with exactly 1 minute to go in this first period.
Now the head coach, Bob Hartley, doesn't like it, but Hudler goes off. And just prior to that, Fost intercepts this, stick in a good position. That was Brody that tried to move the puck. And Fost with a good chance. And then there's the stick kind of waist level on the hands. Wasn't much, at least Bob Hartley didn't like it.
He's yelling to Graham Skilleter, the other referee, once. He said, you got to call it both sides. Take away shorthanded. Flames move in. Save by Lundqvist on Lance Boma. Boy, Lance Boma's had quite a first period. He has been really aggressive and noticeable. The Flames come down shorthanded, get a good chance.
They get an odd man rush from the other end of the ice. And they turn into this chance, and Lundqvist does a good job. Lundqvist has been real good at controlling the puck in this first period. Haven't been many rebounds. Lundqvist has kind of been able to not only make the saves, but then keep the puck close to him and not allow Calgary to get any type of extended pressure.
The penalty was on Yuri Hudler for hooking at 19 minutes. Rangers' second power play, 0 for 1 with 1 shot on goal. Stepan lost it to Paul Byron.
That was a poor pass.
Juris shoots off the glove. Saved by Lundqvist. It goes up into the netting. Ooh, Rangers guilty of a couple of turnovers late here.
Well, this was a poor pass from Dan Boyle. If he had a chance to do it again, it's a little bit of what they used to call a sucker pass. As Stepan, Boyle has to be the eyes of Stepan because he's looking down for the puck. And you could see the player just come right up on Stepan and take the puck away from him as soon as he touched it.
Well, you saw the look on the face of Alain Vigneault. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. That's centered back. Chris Russell with a drive wide. Flames short-handed have really put the pressure on the Rangers. Girardi 15 seconds to go in the first period. Now Zuccarello carries. Moves in. A good shot and a save by Ramo. And then it's put in by Russell. He put it in.
I think Kreider got it, Sam. I think Kreider ended up finding the loose puck. Russell tried to slide it into his goaltender. Yeah. It looked like Ramo might have touched it, but Kreider was right there to bang it in before Ramo could get control. We'll get another look at it here, but this was a quick release by Zuccarello, and then Russell tries to slide it in, and before Ramo can get control, there was Kreider. 13 games without a goal, but he gets this one. Good hustle, good work, and he gets his stick on that puck past Ramo. The Rangers make it 2-0.
Chris Kreider, it's a power play goal, and the Rangers lead 2-0. How about that? Wow. So just after the big-time pressure by the Flames, shorthanded against the Rangers, Zuccarello with a great rush down the ice, and the Rangers capitalized. Zuccarello got the shot on goal.
Those are two of the worst power plays we've seen, and the Rangers are 1 for 2 on the power play.
But a huge goal for Chris Kreider, as Joe mentioned, ending the drought.
Well, he just, the coaches, they always tell these players, we heard Bob Hartley say the same thing, when you're not scoring goals, go to the net and get the puck there. Zuccarello, I think, maybe surprised Ramo with the initial shot, but Russell had a chance to do something. A little miscommunication there. Kreider deserves a lot of credit for just going to the net hard and not giving up on the play.
Well, that's some finish to the first period. A power play goal by Chris Kreider, and at the end of the first, the Rangers have a 2-0 lead. Rick Nash with a great goal and stretching his point-scoring streak to 11, and then Chris Kreider with a power play goal at 19:52, and the Rangers walk off with a 2-0 lead.
Both goals unassisted for the Rangers. Defensively, the Rangers were outstanding. Calgary got their best chances when they were shorthanded. The Rangers kept the Calgary Flames defense out of the play and allowed just 8 shots in that first period for the lead.
Coming up, it's the Delta Intermission Report. Chris Kreider will join John Giannone with the player interview downstairs. We'll go back to the studio. Bill Pito standing by with the Audi MSG 150. Brian Leach and Ron Duguay with highlights and analysis all coming up on the Delta Intermission Report. What a first period. Rick Nash with a highlight goal. Chris Kreider with a power play goal. 2-0. Rangers lead it. We are back in Calgary at the Saddle Dome, getting set for the second period. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. How about a look at that Rick Nash goal again, Joe?
Sam, those officials, they kind of hurried us last time. All right, here's TJ Brodie. He's going to dump the puck in this way. Here's Rick Nash behind him. Let's get it started. So Brodie comes in, fires it around. If we stop it there, the puck goes all the way around. Lundqvist can't get it. Calgary's making a change. Nash reads it and comes this way, and that puck eludes everybody except Rick Nash. He reads it. Now he's got speed. Brodie, who shot it in, tries to get back and can't, and Nash does the rest. That's why the goal was unassisted. No one touched that puck on the initial dump-in, and Rick Nash, goal number 19.
11 consecutive games with a point. Tied for the longest point-scoring streak in the league this season. Miller with a takeaway. Back to Girardi. Girardi with McDonough. Miller again with a takeaway. Miller, Nash, and Zuccarello for the Rangers. Holborn went down.
They wanted
around to Brodie.
They wanted a penalty against Miller, and they probably had a decent argument.
Nash back for it, chased by Monahan. Girardi hard around the boards to McDonough. Rangers will not play again until Saturday night in Carolina. Start of a home-and-home with the Carolina Hurricanes. Take away St. Louis, moves in with McDonough, and the shot deflected, goes high and off the glass. Outlet to Juris. Hudler's pass taken away by Stepan. Rangers coming back well. Leader Kreider. He moves to the net. Save. Rebound save. 2 saves by Kari Ramo. on Chris Kreider.
Calgary's turned the puck over 3 times in the first minute of this second period.
Stahl pressured by Josh Juris, able to stay with it. Pass deflected, cleared out by Stepan. Nice play to Kreider again. Shot went wide. St. Louis with a nice little play to get it to Kreider. Juris the other way. Fanned on it. Stahl in front of him. Glencross hit by Stahl. Hayes trying to take it, and he does. Kevin Hayes moves out with it to Hagelin. Hagelin after it against Rafi Diaz. Hayes picks it up. Hayes pressured by Juris. Hunwick tried to keep it in, but Paul Byron got it out of the zone. Klein sending it back. Now Kevin Hayes moves in again. Hayes holds. Shot toward the net, blocked in front by Diaz. Penalty upcoming. It's going to be on the Rangers, Lee Stempniak. He took down the defenseman, Dennis Wideman. Flames get an extra skater on and regroup on the delayed penalty upcoming. Diaz drops it back to Yuri Hudler. Hudler forced back by Tanner Glass. Now Wideman. That was knocked away from Matt Stajan. Diaz again. Excuse me, that's Wideman to Hudler.
I'm telling you, Calgary's having trouble making plays. They got that wide open net in their own end that somebody better keep an eye on.
Nice play by Hudler. Got it to Wideman. That's blocked by Klein, and now the whistle stops play. And at 2:44, penalty called on Lee Stempniak.
Well, the Rangers forced Calgary into turnovers in the first minute. Here's one. Stepan with the takeaway. Beautiful pass. Kreider gets not one, but 2. Kari Ramo with a couple of excellent saves. There it is again. Kreider, quick release. Ramo 1. Good position. Kicks out the right leg. And then in front, Rangers try to get it there. Number 12 is Lee Stempniak. Gets the stick up on Dennis Wideman, who goes down.
Stempniak for high sticking. That shot by Hudler blocked in front. Comes to Giordano. Flames with 6 power play goals in their last 7 games. Excuse me, last 9 games. 6 for 29. Rangers 2-on-1. Short-handed dash. He scores! Rick Nash does it again. His 20th goal of the season. Bob Hartley can't believe it. Rangers lead 3-0.
Now the Rangers lose the face-off, and then they work hard to cause the turnover, and here it is. Turnover, quickly the other way. Nash leads the rush, gets it back from Stepan. Short-handed goal. What a pass. Beautiful pass. Derek Stepan right underneath the stick. And Rick Nash, he's not missing many. Just inside the near post. Short-handed goal. Goal number 20 for Nash. 3-0 Rangers.
Another 20-goal season for Rick Nash. He continues his brilliant play in all facets of the game. And the Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Chris Russell in deep. Rangers still short-handed, 1:20 to go. And the penalty to Lee Stempniak. That's pass across, tipped by Dominic Moore. Moore and Hagelin with Stahl and Klein. Sean Monahan. Monahan gets it back. Jones is in front battling the Rangers defense. Chris Russell playing it across and getting it back from Dennis Wideman. Here's Monahan. That pass tipped and out of play it goes. Good play by Mark Stahl with that long stick.
Now, Sam, we're going to go back and take a look at this again. Watch the play. First Stepan, then Girardi, and then Nash. So Stepan and Girardi come together to make the defensive play. They cause the turnover. Nash ends up with the loose puck. And then he and Stepan can go down the ice and do their thing. Excellent teamwork by those penalty killers.
11 consecutive 20-goal seasons for Rick Nash. The only season he did not have a 20-goal year was his rookie year when he scored 17 with Columbus. Since then, 11 consecutive 20-goal seasons.
Boy, what a season he just continues to have. Again, we talked about him in our open, about the 3-zone play. And you mentioned, Sam, his teammates talking about that as well. The penalty killing, defensive plays, the finishing. What a year.
Rick Nash second in the league in goals scored with 20. Tyler Seguin of Dallas leads with 23. Brody with a drive save. It knocked Lundqvist over. Flames keep it in, but Lundqvist made a big save. 10 seconds to go in the Calgary power play. Cleared by Girardi. Rangers penalty kill has been perfect the last 4 games. It's 7 for 7, and now 18 for their last 20. Flames come in, team's back at full strength. Glenncross with a good shot. Good save by Lundqvist. Here's Dan Boyle. Nice pass got through to Stempniak. Here's Nash. Firing from long distance. Saved by Ramo.
Why not?
Everything's going right for Rick Nash. 2 goals in this game. Kreider the other one. Rangers a 3-0 lead. Chris Russell lost control. JT Miller coming back.
Calgary came back from Chicago late Sunday night. They had a full practice yesterday, about 45 minutes worth. They did a lot of work skating, going to the net, that type of thing. They had a fairly hard skate this morning. And the Rangers have been the better team here in the first 1+ periods.
Shot by Hunwick. A save. Miller tried to bank in the rebound. It was blocked. Miller battling TJ Brody. Kreider helps out. Got it back to Hunwick. He takes a hit from Boma. Flames able to come out with it. Mason Raymond across the mat staging. Hunwick got a piece of it. Shot by Jones deflected out of play up into the netting. 6:04 gone by. Second period. Rick Nash doing it all. Scored earlier. Gets a shorthanded goal. 3-0 Rangers.
Lead this one 3-0. They've gotten some wonderful defensive plays from their young players. Hagelin with a defensive play. Kreider with a couple in this game. JT Miller comes back to help out. And then Derek Stepan early in this period with a good play to Chris Kreider for a scoring chance.
Shots are even at 12 apiece. Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Long shot was blocked in front. Stepan finds it. And here's Marty St. Louis. Pulls up. Russell got a piece of it. In deep, Kreider. Checked by Colborne, who bounces off. Here's step outside of the net. Pass blocked in front by Chris Russell.
That's a good play. Chris Russell leads the National Hockey League in block shots. That's an excellent defensive play.
Long pass for Colborne. He's open. He moves in. Pass missed by David Jones. Lundqvist lost his stick. It's all the way out in the circle.
What a save. He just made a fantastic save on Colborne.
In deep. Lundqvist able to skate out and get his stick. He's back in normal position. Gaudreau had it tipped away by Stahl. Turned the other way. Stempniak. Pass across. Knocked down. Out come the Flames. Gaudreau. Pass deflected in front. Stahl clears it aside. Diaz sends it around the boards. Gaudreau is there. Long shot wide. Around the boards to Hagelin. Hagelin looking into the middle. Stempniak. He's bumped by Gaudreau. And Diaz able to play it. Johnny Gaudreau. Nice pass through. Yuri Hudler shoots. Save Lundqvist. Kept in by Josh Juris. Kevin Hayes against Yuri Hudler. So the Boston College Twins are on the ice. And Hayes got by Johnny Gaudreau. In deep, Jesper Fast. That's gloved by Ramo, and he holds it. 7:51 gone by here in the second.
Boy, Henrik Lundqvist, a couple of key saves down on his end. This one goes past him. He loses his stick. And then here's where he makes a save. Colborne, number 8, has the chance, and Lundqvist just fires out the left leg to keep Calgary off the scoreboard.
See the numbers on Henrik Lundqvist. 5 shutouts, tied for the league lead with Marc-Andre Fleury of Pittsburgh. Rangers lead the league as a team with 7 shutouts. That's brought in by Curtis Glenncross. He went down. Klein trying to move it. Kept alive by Paul Byron. JT Miller reverses to Rick Nash. The Nash second goal was assisted by Stepan and Girardi at 3:06. The first assists of the game. First 2 goals of the game were unassisted by Nash and Kreider. Tanner Glass for Zuccarello. Ooh, hard hit on J.T. Miller by Lance Boma.
Now, Boma's a tough kid. He's looking to change things around here. Boma's and there he goes.
He's challenged by Tanner Glass.
Yeah.
Well, Boma had been hitting people in the first period. He was the most physical player on the ice. And here he took a hard run at J.T. Miller. And Tanner Glass challenges Boma, and they both go off.
Yeah, Boma's a hard-nosed kid. He works. He doesn't have great size to his game. They compare him a little bit to Brandon Prust, the way he plays. Not great size, but plays with a lot of heart. And J.T. Miller, I think, gets his head up just in time. Saw him coming, was able to brace himself and fight off that hit. And then Glass saw that coming, and Glass gets a couple of hits. Sean Gianone's downstairs. John.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, guys, J.T. Miller's still sort of shaking out the cobwebs, but when he saw what Tanner Glass did, he skated across the ice from the Ranger bench to the penalty box and made sure that he tapped Tanner Glass on the pads and said, thanks for doing that.
He just said to himself, keep your head up. And you're right about that. Thanks, John. Rangers break out. Stepan in the middle. Angles across, but brought it offside with 11-11 remaining in the second period. Rangers with a goal here in the second, lead at 3-0. J.T. Miller seems to be okay.
And Chris Kreider is offside there, shaking his head a little bit. But this is the best game to this point I've seen Chris Kreider play in a long time.
Okay.
He has the goal, but he's made some defensive plays. He's skating. He looks like that goal just lifted a big weight off his shoulders.
Off the glass, kept in by McDonough. Ramo out to swing it around the board, stopped there by Jesper Fast. Fast, Moore, and Rick Nash on. Nash getting some extra time with Tanner Glass in the penalty box. That puck moved out, blocked on the dump in by Girardi. Brody able to get it to David Jones. Girardi with another good play.
Believe it or not, this Calgary team is a very fast team, and the Rangers have taken a lot of that speed away thus far.
The forwards have done a good job helping out, coming back. Rangers not getting trapped at all to this point. Chipped off the boards by Fast. Kevin Hayes is there. Fast tries to get it to him and does. Pass too far for Girardi. Goes all the way down. Ramo stops it. Midway point, second period. Rangers a 3-0 lead. Yuri Hudler. Good throw for Juris. Good pass across. The backhander by Derek England, the big defenseman, went off the side of the net. Rafi Diaz. The Flames suffered an injury on defense in their last game. Ladislav Schmid, he'll be out for a while. And the one-time Rangers draft pick, Corey Potter, has been recalled. Puck brought in by Gaudreau. The pass off the skate of Stepan. Cleared out. Gaudreau able to get it back to Weidman. Rangers have done a good job slowing the Flames down in the neutral zone. Russell brings it across. Around the boards it goes. Gronlund let it go through. Long shot kicked away by Lundqvist. Weidman took that shot.
Sorry, Sam. Smart play by Dan Boyle to get out of the way and allow Lundqvist to see it.
Weidman lost it. Granlund shoots off the bar. The red light went on, but it hit the crossbar, and the referee waved it off immediately. Rangers the other way. Stepan around the net. He scores! Derek Stepan with the wraparound goal makes it 4-0 Rangers.
Off the crossbar, that close for Calgary. The Rangers quickly go the other way, and Stepan was actually going to shoot it, and he loses control of it. Here's the turnover first. That one goes off the crossbar. Now here come the Rangers. St. Louis Good strong play on the boards to duck out of the way. And then watch this pass right there. Stepan just loses it, regains control, and Ramo can't get back the other way. Off the crossbar. That shot by Granlund. And then Stepan, what a play. Loses it, but doesn't give up on the play, reaches for it, tucks it in.
Remember our GMC as Jonas Hiller gets set to replace Kari Ramo. Right at the top, our GMC key players. Kreider scores a goal. Stepan scores a goal. Now it's up to Marty St. Louis to join the...
Well, and he made a beautiful play in his own zone. And now the goaltending change. The goaltending for Calgary is one of the big reasons why they've had a pretty good season, but they're on the verge of losing 6 in a row, and it doesn't take many winning streaks or losing streaks to move up and down the standings.
In the previous games that they had lost, they've been close late in games. They lost one game 4-1. They were down to Toronto. Toronto scored 2 empty net goals late in the game, but they've been close in virtually all the games. Here, Rangers with a big 4-0 lead. Lundqvist, what a pass to Nash. Nash with Zuccarello. Nash's shot deflected into the corner.
Nash had the right idea. Cold goalie in, take shots.
Rangers with a 4-0 lead. Jonas Hiller has replaced Kari Ramo. Here in the second period, long shot goes wide. On the boards, Flames keep in. Drop back to Stajan to Giordano, deflected in! Yuri Hudler with a deflection in front has put Calgary on the board. The Rangers lead cut to 4-1.
Giordano continues to rack up the points. Top of your screen at the blue line. Here it is. There's the shot and the redirection. Hudler. There it is. Just gets a piece of it, deflects it down through the legs of Lundqvist. And so Calgary, with the goaltending change, they respond quickly.
Rangers had scored the goal by Stepan, his third from St. Louis, and Lundqvist at 11:15 to take the 4-0 lead. And then 41 seconds later, Yuri Hudler scores to put Calgary on the board. Hudler has been playing very well for the Flames lately. Play whistled down. 7:56 to go, second period. Rangers have a 4-1 lead. Time for the Papa John's third goal replay, but Papa John's gives you more. We'll give you 2 goals.
Extra cheese. Rangers shorthanded. Good defensive play. Wonderful pass from Derek Stepan. And he sets up Nash for his second goal of the game, 20th, and then here's goal number 4. Stepan gets an assist on the third, and then a beautiful move to score the Rangers' 4th goal.
The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu priced online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3. Available at participating Papa John's locations. Rangers a 4-1 lead. Interesting, when we went away to the TV timeout, Bob Hartley went down to talk to Kari Ramo and try to ease the pain of being lifted in the middle of the game.
He's a very positive type coach.
Chris Russell, the defenseman. Good pass from Monahan. Nice play by Jesper Fast. Fast quietly has had a strong game here. Made some good plays. McDonough with the intercept, lifts it ahead. Monahan has it back for Calgary. That's broken up by Girardi. Johnny Gaudreau checked there by Hagelin.
Penalty on Hagelin coming
Hagelin wrapped his arms around Gaudreau.
I think they actually called it just prior to that, Sam. He got his stick first, I think, on the hands of Gaudreau, and then he wrapped his arms around him. You'll see the first one right there. That's where the call was, and then he wraps him up there. And so Calgary scores a quick goal after the goaltending change, and now the Rangers are going to have to do a job on the penalty kill.
Yeah, this is an important spot here. The Flames have scored a goal. They have some life, And if they score here, the entire complexion of the game will change. Rangers have Stepan and Nash, Stahl and Klein, the penalty killers. Hudler with Gaudreau and Juris. Giordano and Weidman for the power play. Giordano toward the net and hit the man in front. Lundqvist trying to stop play, covers it with the glove. Saturday night on MSG, the Rangers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. First of a home-and-home with the Hurricanes. Live coverage begins at 6:30 with Visa Rangers game night. Then the Rangers and the Hurricanes Saturday night, 7 p.m. on MSG. Hope you'll join us. Henrik Lundqvist stopped 17 of 18. Giordano. Now Gaudreau. Shot blocked by McDonough and cleared by Jesper Fast. Fast and Dominic Moore on. Fast getting penalty killing time with Moore, with Hagelin in the penalty box. Good play by Fast on the forecheck on Weidman. An aggressive play by Dominic Moore. Forced back was Gaudreau by Fast. Minute 15 to go. Hudler. Pass across for Weidman. It's out of the zone. Weidman puts it back in. Would have been offside. Girardi's got it. To McDonough. Up the boards. Kept in by Giordano. Up ahead, Gaudreau. Good pass. Shot blocked by Girardi.
Boy, two huge blocks on this penalty kill. The first one by McDonough, and then that one by Girardi.
That was a big one with Jones high in the slot. Had a good chance. 45 seconds to go in the Calgary power play. 5:50 to go in the second period. Rangers leading 4-1. Flames move in again. Back pass. Across it comes. Brody's shot is blocked. Again to Russell. In deep. Save Lundqvist. Brody getting it to Russell and back for the shot blocked by Stahl. Comes to Monahan. Pass to Russell. And that was blocked by Stahl. Excuse me, by Fast. Back pass to Brody. Across to Russell. Now T.J. Brody moves it to Sean Monahan.
Stahl without a stick. Now he gets Fast's stick.
It's a righty stick to a lefty shooter. Russell down low. Monahan. Two saves by Lundqvist. And a whistle stop play. The puck was still loose. Rangers got a break. 5:07 to go. Lundqvist with a couple of big saves. Upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Saturday night at Carolina on MSG at 7 p.m. Sunday night, Carolina at Madison Square Garden on MSG at 7 p.m. Tuesday night, Washington Capitals come in. First meeting of the season between the Rangers and Caps, 7 p.m. on MSG. All games preceded 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers game night. After the Washington game, Joe's favorite time of the year, the Christmas break.
You're right.
Rick Nash will be John Ginone's special guest following the second period. Puck around the boards. Hunwick keeps it into Nash. Brody able to move it to Giordano. 4:40 to go in the second. Rangers leading 4-1. Nice play by Boyle to break it up on the line. Giordano back for it, pressured by JT Miller. In comes Kreider. Brody stays with it. Tipped away by Dan Boyle. Rangers touch up, get onside, but the Flames able to take the puck back.
Flames have outshot the Rangers 14-6 here in the second period.
Lundqvist with a pass out to Kreider. Back to Hunwick. Stepan couldn't play it. Josh Juris moves across. Hudler with a shot. Stick saved by Lundqvist. Boy, Hudler is dangerous. He has 16 points. Giveaway here to Juris. Pass across to Gaudreau. He had a shot, but he gave it up.
Damn, I think that pass was deflected. I don't think it got to Gaudreau. You had Boyle there, and I believe Stepan were the other ones. And they both turned, and I believe one of the two of them got a stick on the puck.
Started to say Yuri Hudler, 8 goals, 8 assists, 16 points in the last 14 games for Calgary.
Yeah, he's 30 points on the season now for him. He's really had a good season. He's fit in well with those 2 young kids. And he just loves playing with the kids. He really does. He's been a real positive influence on both Juris and Goudreau.
And interesting, Bob Hartley referred to him as a world-class player.
Yeah.
And when we said, what about Yuri Hudler? He said, that guy is a world-class player. Sean Monahan moves it out to David Jones. McDonough on Jones. Stepniak. Now it's Joe Colborne shoved down. And again, Girardi, strong play. And it's lifted out by Hagelin. 3 minutes to go in the second period. Weidman reverses to Russell. Out comes Sean Monahan. McDonough's back. Monahan pulls up, played it in front, intercepted by Girardi. Lead for McDonough. He breaks to the net. He went off his stick. It slid wide. He tried to fake on Jonas Hiller. Shot by Dominic Moore, stopped by Hiller. Played in front. Rangers with another chance. Jesper Fast. Hunwick comes over. Girardi lifted it ahead. I don't know if McDonough was heading for the bench, but he wound up with a breakaway. Delay penalty on Calgary. The touch up and a holding call gives the Rangers another power play.
Well, just prior to that, here's the play where McDonough gets the breakaway. He's out here, so he's challenging the puck here, and when he blocks it, he just keeps going. Here it comes, makes the play. Girardi says, where's my partner? There he is. Good flip pass, and McDonough to the backhand just loses the puck. And then Calgary with the pressure, the penalty, and the Rangers with a late power play.
The former Ranger Rafi Diaz called for holding. There's a chance in front for St. Louis, was knocked away. 3-on-2 Calgary, down the middle Brody. Cutting in was Stajan, but he lost control on the poke check by McDonough. Back the other way, Stepan. St. Louis heads for the net. It's off his stick. Taken by Giordano. Brody went hard into the boards. That lead for Boma was broken up by McDonough. Rangers' third power play of the game. They are 1 for 2. The goal by Kreider. Zuccarello carries in. Checked along the boards by Russell. Centered in front off. Knocked away from Miller. Girardi keeps in. Miller back to Girardi. Now to Matt Hunwick. Hunwick moves down. Centers to Kreider. Russell checks him. Kreider went down. Hunwick's got it. Now Miller back to Hunwick. Hunwick looks. Down low. Kreider save on Zuccarello. Great save by Jonas Hiller. And then he stopped Girardi in deep as well.
Boy, what a save. A couple of saves by Hiller. Beautiful passing around the net by the Rangers. A little touch pass from Kreider. Watch him just move out to the side. Here comes the pass. Boom, boom, right there. Hiller, beautiful save, and then makes a second one on Girardi. Wonderful passing, and Hiller comes up with a huge save here at a couple of saves here at the end of the second period.
Jonas Hiller, you see his record coming in, replacing Kari Ramo. Here in the second period, Stepan down low, Nash. That was a pass that was broken up by Giordano. He tried to get it through to St. Louis.
He could have walked in.
I agree. Giordano takes it deep against Stepan. Brody steps up, saved by Lundqvist. Oh, man. Dangerous moment. Flames short-handed. And the save made by Lundqvist. Take your friends and family to the Radio City Christmas Spectacular now through December 31st. Every moment is magic. Visit RadioCityChristmas.com. That is a classic show and must see at this time of the year.
Boy, Lundqvist made a big save. Normally, you see Lundqvist staying back in the net, and this time he read it well. He came well out of his crease to make the save.
Rangers power play, 32 seconds remaining. Flames have been aggressive. Giordano, big shot, save. The rebound loose. Rangers have it. Lifted out for Kreider. Giordano is there to check him. Kreider stays with it. JT Miller takes over. Miller pass through to Zuccarello for the drive off the post. Oh, what a shot. Just missed. Hunwick goes around the net. Out to Girardi. Down the boards to Kreider. Kreider looking to make a move. Here comes JT Miller out. Now Girardi with a wrist shot blocked by Giordano. Power play is over and the period is about to end. And the Rangers have a 4-1 lead. End of the second. 2 goals here in the second. One a shorthanded goal by Rick Nash. The other one by Derek Stepan. Flames got on the board, but the Rangers have a big lead. End of 2.
Now, Chris Kreider, again in this second period, was very visible. He'll be in front of the net. He takes a pass from Miller, and there you see Kreider providing the screen, and that one just goes off the post, so the Rangers will go into the third period up by 2.
Rangers head off. Coming up, the New York Lottery Intermission Report. John Giannone rejoins us. His special guest, the 2-goal scorer, Rick Nash. Back in the studio, Bill Pito with the Audi MSG 150. Brian Leach and Ron Duguay have their thoughts on the game with highlights and analysis on the New York Lottery Intermission Report. So far, so good for the Rangers. Through 2 periods, they lead it 4-1. John with Rick Nash in just a moment. We are back in Calgary, getting set for the third period. Rangers and Calgary Flames. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Let's check out our Cadillac trivia question for tonight. Rick Nash has now scored 20 goals in 11 consecutive seasons. Who holds the NHL record for most consecutive 20-goal seasons? Good question.
It is.
We'll check it out a little bit later. We go between the benches. John Giannone has the coach's view of things. John.
Yeah, Sam, it sounded like Scott Arniel had the same kind of concerns that Rick Nash did. He said, hey, look, we're getting all sorts of chances tonight because they're just blowing up the ice, meaning the Flames. He said both defensemen are joining the rush almost every single time, and that's really created an opportunity for us, he said. But for every chance we get, they're getting odd man chances too. It's a different kind of game. He said you want to take advantage of the opportunities, but you have to protect your own end. So I said to him, with Hank and the defensive system you play, do you just hunker down in the third? He said, we've got to take he said they're going to take every possible chance in the third. We have got to keep not only one guy high, but 2. We have to always match their numbers in our end. 3-on-3, 4-on-4, or 5-on-5.
Thanks, John. We'll look for that as the third period goes along. Calgary has been an outstanding third period team. They have trailed 15 times going into the third period, but won 6 games after trailing.
Now they've scored 41 third period goals, Sam. That's almost half of their goal total.
They're plus 19 in third periods. Sean Monahan moves in. Pass into the middle, broken up by Zuccarello. Miller, Zuccarello, and Nash. Girardi and McDonough for the Rangers. Good job by Miller coming back. Banks it off the boards out of the zone. Rangers, meanwhile, 9-0-1 when they take a lead into the third period this season.
Another good play by Miller.
That puck deflected by Kreider out of play. We are in the opening minute of the third. Rangers fly home to New York tomorrow. We'll practice on Thursday. We'll practice and travel on Friday to Carolina to play a Saturday night game. The home and home against the Carolina Hurricanes, who were beaten in Montreal tonight. And the Hurricanes struggling. They have lost 6 in a row.
Galchenyuk with the hat trick for Montreal. He's been moved back to the center ice position.
St. Louis with a good play. Stepan blocked by Chris Russell. The hottest team in the NHL right now officially, the Columbus Blue Jackets, who've won 7 in a row. They beat Detroit in Detroit 1-0 in a shootout. 1-0. Bobrovsky and Howard shutting the other team out. through overtime for 65 minutes. That shot by England goes high and wide. He was wide open. Juris with a shot blocked by Stahl. And out comes Lee Stempniak. What did you start to say, Joe?
Bobrovsky found his game.
Oh.
It took him a while, the former Vezina Trophy winner, but boy, he had 52 saves last week in a game, and he has found his game in goal for Columbus.
And a big win for Toronto tonight as they stopped Anaheim's winning streak at 7, and Toronto extended their winning streak as they continue to play great. They've won 6 in a row. England moves it around the boards for Glencross. Hunwick got a piece of that one. Paul Byron sends it in deep. Lundqvist out to get it to Girardi. That was blocked. Behind the net, Marcus Granlund comes out. Shot blocked by Hunwick, coming back.
Nice job. Boy, Calgary's coming hard. As John was reporting the way Calgary is sending everybody, they're even more aggressive to start this third period.
Nice play by Dominic Moore. Girardi finds the open man. Rangers go side to side. And Jesper Fast puts it in the Calgary zone. Russell up the boards, stopped by Zuccarello. Chris Russell again. Miller on the forecheck. Brody able to move it ahead. That Stajan was stopped. Pass off the boards. Comes through to Zuccarello. And he carries in. Backhander on goal, stick to side by Jonas Hiller. Kari Ramos started, gave up 4 goals on 13 shots. And Jonas Hiller has stopped all 4 shots that he's faced. Good play by Klein, got it to Kreider. 3-man rush for the Rangers. St. Louis pulls up, plays it down the boards. Brody is there. That was blocked along the boards, cleared out by Monahan. This is Colborne coming in. Hunwick slows him down. So Colborne, former first-round draft pick of the Boston Bruins. Played off the back of the net by David Jones. Stepan gets to it, clears it out. 4 minutes gone by, third period. And that's an icing on the Rangers. Experience the lounges at Madison Square Garden. A spectacular group and hospitality space on the bridge level. For more info, visit NewYorkrangers.com/lounges. And it's a beautiful place to watch a game at Madison Square Garden. Russell off another face-off win. Gaudreau with a shot blocked in front. Hunwick tried to move it and able to move it out of the zone.
That shot by Gaudreau actually hit his own man, Yuri Hudler.
Gaudreau playing it back to Russell. Russell's pass broken up. Nice play by Hunwick. Hagelin, long shot stopped by Hiller. Hagelin has it back. On the boards, Dennis Weidman goes to get it. Stempniak on him, deflected the pass. Good play by Stempniak. Weidman's pass tipped ahead. Gaudreau into the Rangers zone. Lundqvist looks around and covers up with Granlund there. 4:46 gone by in the third. We take a look at the Kia Division standings. Pittsburgh up top in the Metropolitan Division. Islanders second. Washington with a point tonight third. Rangers right behind, and the Rangers starting play tonight. We're in the final wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. Rangers looking for their 4th win in a row. Puck got by Derek Englund. Tanner Glass chases him. Rangers take it back. Klein's pass blocked. And Glencross able to bring it in. Stopped by Dominic Moore. Good job standing up at the blue line by the Rangers. And that's deflected by Glass out of play. I think Cam Talbot made a save on the bench and hands the puck to a fan. Nice play by Glass and then by Cam Talbot on the bench.
Yeah, the Rangers are doing a good job of trying to stand up, make plays at their own blue line, force Calgary to shoot the puck in the zone instead of carrying it. Right off the face-off, Miller goes down as Raymond took him down.
Lance Boma Miller knocked it away. Nash tried to clear. It was intercepted by Brody. Giordano shot saved by Lundqvist. He got bumped. Played back to the point. Giordano. Good play by Zuccarello. Racing for the puck is Nash. Nash moves in and shoots. Saved by Jonas Hiller. Oh, Nash, how quick was that? Jumped on the loose puck and got a good scoring chance. Turned over. Miller was bumped by Giordano, but able to put it into the Calgary zone. Kreider after it.
Another good play by Matt Hudwick.
Kreider got knocked down, then got rolled over by T.J. Brody. Mason Raymond. That's stopped by Lundqvist. McDonough has the puck. A little over 6 minutes gone by in the third. St. Louis had it knocked away by Weidman. Miller leaves it for Weidman. Now Russell. Colborn for Monahan. McDonough picks him up. And the pass taken away by St. Louis. Gets out of the zone with it. He was slowed down by David Jones, and the Flames have it back. Around the boards it goes. Played by Joe Colborn. J.T. Miller apparently went to the Rangers locker room.
I wonder if that wasn't from the Giordano hit.
Okay. And I don't see medical trainer Jim Ramsey on the bench, so that's something to look for. Stempniak fired across. Comes to the line. It was out of the zone. Mark Stahl says no. The linesman says it was outside. Rangers offside on the play with 6:56 gone by in the third.
Rangers continue to lead by 3. J.T. Miller had an interesting last shift. Here he goes down on a face-off with Stajan. A little slow to get up, but he stayed on the ice, and then this. Here comes Giordano, who steps up. Hard shoulder hit on Miller as he went to the bench. John.
Yeah, guys, when J.T. Miller came to the bench, he knew that something was wrong. He screamed in obscenity, got to the bench, summoned the trainer Jim Ramsey, and they headed off to the dressing room. He pretty much knew right away something was wrong.
Jim Ramsey is back on the bench, but J.T. Miller is not. Around the boards. Played out by Gaudreau. Diaz with a good pass across to Juris. His shot is saved. Big rebound. Cleared aside by Glass. Played by Rafi Diaz behind the net. Hoodler in front. Juris couldn't tee up a shot. Shot by Gaudreau was blocked. Pass back to Diaz. Diaz put it in front. Kevin Klein broke it up.
And Stahl goes to the bench. He had blocked the previous shot.
7:40 gone by. Third period. Rangers leading 4-1. Hoodler. Long pass offside. Granlund. 12:14 to go here in the third. Blue Shirts fans, Rangerstown loves visitors. Individual tickets are available for Sunday, December 21st against the Carolina Hurricanes and Tuesday, December 23rd against the Washington Capitals. For great seats, be sure to visit NewYorkRangers.com. Zuccarello plays it deep. Giordano. For Glenncross, got knocked down by Girardi. Rangers take it. Nash moves in and shoots, deflected and stopped by Hiller.
I'll tell you what, Nash took a slash by Glenncross on the hand, and Nash is saying something to the referee. I mean, Glenncross chopped him. Remember Glenncross was a late hit a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Going right on the hand. That was just a one-handed swing with the stick right on the hands of Nash.
Well, Glenncross was upset that Girardi knocked him down from behind, and then he just hit anything that any white jersey that he could see near him.
The hit I was talking about a few years ago was on Chris Drury that concussed him.
All right. There's a lead for Mason Raymond. It wasn't a lead. It was a pass across, and it was an offside on the play. Glenncross, I think he was hurt on the Girardi hit.
Doesn't seem to be doing real well there. Seems to be like he's catching his breath.
$11:50 to go, third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. No scoring here in the third. Rangers 2 goals in the first, 2 in the second. And Rangers had a 4-0 lead in the Calgary scored their goal. Rick Nash with 2 goals, Chris Kreider and Derek Stepan 1 apiece, icing on the Rangers. Flames with 27 shots in the game to 20. Rangers have not given up much. Just 2 goals in the last 3 games, including this one. Face-off win by Monahan. Big drive by Giordano, missed high off the glass.
Well, he doesn't miss the net much either. He finds a way to get it through.
I don't know how that glass didn't shatter. Hayes lifted it out. Good play by Giordano. Prevented a breakaway. Hayes cleared it out again. Jones deflected by Stempniak. And Giordano takes over.
Rangers focusing on short shifts in this third period.
Tip to Monahan. Pass across. Save Lundqvist. As he stopped Colburn. Monahan setting up Colburn on the right side. And a good play by Lundqvist.
Well, Hayes tried to make a quick shift. He was in the neutral zone and went to the bench, so that left the Rangers a little short-handed on that side. And Monahan with a real good pass to Colburn over on the other side, and Lundqvist was there waiting for that shot.
Stepan and Juris for the face-off. Played into the crease, blocked. There's a pass in front, and it's no goal.
What a play by Klein.
The Flames thought it was in. The referee waved no goal.
Went off the post. Klein cleared it behind Lundqvist, and it hit the post and stayed out. It looked to me like that would have rolled in the net. Klein saved a goal.
That's the second one he's cleared out of the crease. That's gone off the post. Stahl under pressure from Mason Raymond, or rather from Yuri Hudler. Josh Juris. Now Russell. Blocked by St. Louis all the way down. Good play by St. Louis. Getting in front of Chris Russell. Coming down to the midway point, third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Dennis Weidman for Curtis Glencross. He's back, he's okay. And he's controlling here. Sets up Engelland. That was blocked in front. Dominic Moore's got it. Moore circles back.
Snapped his stick.
Yeah, Moore's stick, I think, was slashed and broken. Flames trying to take advantage. Diaz moves in, save, Lundqvist, the rebound, cleared aside. There's Granlund. Granlund works around the net. Girardi with a good play. And Fost able to get the puck ahead. And he was high stick on the play. 3-on-2 Rangers across. Off the stick of Dominic Moore. Diaz has it. 9:15 to go in the third. Good hit by Tanner Glass on Rafi Diaz. Long pass for Glencross. And in the Ranger zone, Hunwick. Dan Boyle able to push it ahead. And it's lifted across. Kevin Hayes has taken the spot of JT Miller on the line with Nash and Zuccarello. Lance Boma was stopped by Hunwick. That's a good play in front by Dan Boyle. Nash to Zuccarello. To Hayes, breaking in, he pulls back. Gets it to Zuccarello, a deflected shot stopped by Hiller. Zuccarello again to Nash. Nash holding. Zuccarello's got it. Zuccarello goes down, Brody on him. Stepan was tripped up by Lance Boma. Referees have let a lot go the last couple of minutes. Bouncing puck, played by Matt Stajan into the Rangers zone. 8:10 to go in the third. Stepan. Off the corner boards, Weidman. The outlet pass. David Jones moves in with a shot. Gloved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. 7:59 to go in the third period. The Flames pressing, trying to get another goal. Kevin Klein able to keep it out.
Rangers assistant coach Ulf Samuelsson told us before the game he's never seen Kevin Klein play better. And what a game again. Here's the first period. Clears that one out from the crease. And here's the third period. How about this one? What a job to reach back. Here it is again. This one's going in the net. Wow, what a play by Kevin Klein off the post. And the Rangers are out of trouble, and they keep their 3-goal lead.
Dominic Moore, Carl Hagelin, Lee Stempniak on for the Rangers. And the puck out of the zone. Weidman comes over, Hagelin on him. 7:45 to go, third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Stempniak gets to the puck. Good hustle. Colburn drops it back. Stempniak takes it away. Try to feed Hagelin. And the Flames come out. Jones leaves it for Monahan. Stick to the side by Lundqvist. Played by Colburn. Moved up the boards by Girardi. Good play to get it out of the zone. Stempniak is there. Stempniak moves in. In front, broken up by Brody. And TJ Brody comes out with it. Gives it up to Kevin Klein. Juris missed it. And Yuri Hudler able to play it. Fires ahead past Josh Juris. Stahl pressured by Juris. Stahl goes down. Gaudreau sets up Hudler, who shoots wide. Juris put it in front. Klein was able to sweep it away to Nash. Can't clear. Giordano. That's deflected. And Zuccarello bangs it off the glass. Knocked down by Gaudreau. Gave it away to Kevin Hayes, his buddy. The BC Twins are out there. 6:20 to go in the third. Calgary has put on pressure. The Rangers have withstood it. Dan Boyle on with Matt Hunwick. Kreider fires around the board. Stepan tips it out of the zone. England has it for Calgary. 6 minutes to go in the third. And it's whistled down for an icing. And JT Miller is back on the Rangers bench. And that is very good news.
Yeah, it sure is. Sometimes you feel something, and once you give it a little bit of time, it will go away. Certainly the help of Jim Ramsey. And so Levino enjoying himself on the bench
on
as
his
he
face.
and Miller have a little conversation.
Rangers control off the faceoff. Moore, Glass, and Fost on the ice. The puck deflects out of play. Faceoff stays in the Calgary zone. 5:48 to go. 3-goal lead for the Rangers. Rick Dash, 20 goals in 11 straight seasons. Who holds the NHL record for most consecutive 20-goal seasons?
You know, I'm thinking of Mike Gartner. I'm thinking of Wayne Gretzky. I'm thinking of Jaromir Jagr. I'll go with Gartner.
I like Gartner as well. I'm going with that. It's a good one. Gordie Howe. How could we let Gordie Howe slip away? 22 seasons.
Would you believe me if I said I was thinking of him too? You wouldn't believe me. But I was actually.
Well, then you're thinking of so many guys.
I know. And
Gordie, by the way, last word we heard was he was doing a little better.
Yeah.
We certainly wish him well.
for sure.
Mr. Hockey, 22 consecutive 20-goal seasons. That spanned 4 decades, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and into the 70s. Rangers here, 5:15 to go, third period, 4-1 lead. They've done a good job. Lance Boma gets to the puck. That's batted around. Lundqvist makes a save. Mason Raymond battling Lee Stempniak. Stahl trying to move it. Does. And Hayes lifts it out. Hayes back with Hagelin and Stempniak. So I assume we're going to see JT Miller on the ice. Puck brought in by Dennis Weidman. Stahl hit by Boma. Hayes gets it out of the zone. It went by Rafi Diaz. A lead to Mason Raymond. And JT Miller is on. That shot deflected by JT Miller, out of play. 4:27 to go. After the game, we've got complete post-game coverage coming your way. Bill Pito anchoring in the studio in New York with Brian Leach and Ron Duguay. That starts there. We'll hear from head coach Alain Vigneault. John Giannone will work the locker room, talk with the players. He'll talk with the player of the game. Joe Micheletti and Dave Maloney have their analysis, all coming up on Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame right after the action concludes. Jonas Hiller starting to slide out of the net to go to the bench. And
there he goes.
Hiller goes to the bench. Calgary down 4-1, and Bob Hartley pulls his goaltender. Something that started with Patrick Roy last season. With just under 4 minutes to go now. And the Rangers leading 4-1. Rick Nash is on the ice.
Hey, he doesn't have a hat trick yet this season. 20 goals, no hat tricks. Give him the puck.
Icing whistled against Calgary, and Hiller goes back into the crease. We look at the game recap brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Rick Nash, 2 goals in the game, 11 consecutive 20-goal seasons. He's second in the NHL, and he now has an 11-game point-scoring streak. Chris Kreider, his first goal in 14 games, and Derek Stepan with a goal as well, ending his 8-game drought. Monahan stopped by Zuccarello, pass across, and Stahl has it. Hiller still in the net. Zuccarello across, finds Miller, who shoots, save by Hiller.
And then Miller looks over and says, oh, I had Rick Nash on my left.
Sorry, Rick.
I think as soon as he shot it, he looked over there and then he skated over and said something to him.
Next shift, I promise.
There he goes. Gives him a little pat on the back, a little pat on the helmet.
3:24 to go. Rangers trying to make it 4 straight wins. 6 in their last 8 and 8 of their last 11. And Hiller's gone to the bench. Calgary's net is empty again. Stahl able to move it to Stempniak. Up ahead, Hayes out of the zone. Hagelin to the empty net. He scores. Carl Hagelin with an empty net goal with 3:01 to go. And the Rangers capitalize on the gamble by Bob Hartley and the Flames and now lead it 5-1.
Now the Rangers with just real good plays in their own zone. The puck movement right there, good pass. First to Stempniak, then to Hayes, and Hagelin with the finish.
Under 3 minutes to go. And the Rangers just about put this one away. Dominic Moore, Tanner Glass. Jesper Fast with a good play against Rafi Diaz. Unwick deep to Moore. Gets away from Derek Englund. Fast. The Rangers doing a good job here, keeping the puck away. Shot blocked. And Paul Byron takes over. 2:20 to go. Rangers' next game Saturday night in Carolina. The start of a home and home with the Carolina Hurricanes. Mason Raymond's shot blocked by Dan Boyle. Stahl knocks down Stajan, and a whistle, a penalty on Stahl for cross-checking. The Hagelin goal is 7th from Hayes and Stempniak at 16:59. An empty net goal. Mark Stahl heads off.
Mark Stahl with another strong game. There's the cross-check on Stajan, and so the Rangers still with some work to do with 2:06 remaining in regulation.
Stepan wins the draw. Stepan and Nash are on. They combine for a shorthanded goal in the second period. Stepan setting up Nash. Girardi and McDonough on defense. Yuri Hudler, who has the Calgary goal, gains the zone, finds Joe Colborne in front. That's deflected behind the net. Driving hard to the net was Johnny Gaudreau. Brody gets it back. Hoodler with a shot deflected by Nash, out of play. A minute 30 to go.
Another real good job by Rick Nash. Getting to Hoodler as soon as he received the puck. Nash went right to him, got the stick in the right spot, and deflected that over the glass.
Joe, I know we see him every night watching Rick Nash play, but it's hard to conceive of anyone playing better than Rick Nash this first half of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. He just continues to play every game, in every situation, and has been good in every situation. Even strength, killing penalties.
Monahan in deep. The setup, they score. Glenn Cross with a goal, a power play goal. With a minute 15 remaining. It's a 5-2 game.
Now Monahan with a good setup. They're able to gain the zone. Monahan on the right side of your screen. Just beautiful little pass, and Glenn Cross really let that one go. Wow, did he let that wrist shot go. That thing was over the glove and in the net in a split second.
Only the first power play goal the Rangers have given up in the last 5 games. Makes it a 5-2 score as we come down to the final minute of the game. 1 minute left. And quite a stretch for the Rangers here as they go to Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. Josh Juris around the net. Shot by England, blocked in front. Shot by Hoodler was blocked by Tanner Glass. Glenn Cross from Monahan and Weidman at 18:45. Glenn Cross is 6th of the season. This is Gaudreau. Hunwick clearing it out.
Too many men on the ice.
Play.
Too many men on the ice, I believe, for the Rangers. I think.
Saturday night on MSG. Don't forget, it's the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're on the air at 6:30 with Visa Rangers game night, and then at 7, it's the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Start of the home and home with the Hurricanes Sunday night at Madison Square Garden. Rangers, too many men on the ice with 20 seconds to go. Long shot saved by Lundqvist. And Moore plays it off the boards. Monahan able to keep in. Weidman. Hagelin takes it away, clears it out, and that will do it. And the Rangers have swept Western Canada. A win in Vancouver, a win in Edmonton, and a 5-2 win in Calgary tonight. It's the 20th time they have played Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary on the same road trip, and the first time they have swept the series. They win all 3 games. Rick Nash leading the way with 2 goals, and the Rangers, solid goaltending from Henrik Lundqvist, win it 5-2.
Well, they won these games in different ways. The one constant that they had was their team defense. Their forwards came back and defended well. Their group of defense was really good, the way they blocked shots, deflected passes, and in particular, the first 2 periods of this game where they were able to keep the Calgary defense out of the play was very impressive.
Rangers have now won 4 in a row. It's a high point of the season for them. They defeat the Calgary Flames 5-2. We'll be back with a lot more from Calgary right after these messages.